Do we really have a soul? With so many theories about consciousness, the mind, and the essence of life, it's natural to wonder if the Islamic concept of the soul aligns with scientific views of who we are. Let's explore what Islam says about the soul and how some scientific discoveries provide intriguing insights into this spiritual reality. In Islam, the soul, or the ruh, is a distinct yet mysterious creation of Allah. Allah describes in the Quran in Surah Al-Isra, and they ask you, O Muhammad, about the soul. Say, the soul is of the affair of my Lord, and mankind has not been given of knowledge except a little. Here Allah acknowledges that the soul is beyond full human comprehension. Interestingly though, science also has limits when it comes to explaining consciousness, self-awareness, and the very essence of life. While science has given us a wealth of knowledge about the brain and the body, the hard problem of consciousness, the question of why we have subjective experiences, remains unresolved until today. The Quran hints at this limitation, suggesting that while science can reveal much about the physical world, it can't fully explain the mysteries of the soul. Modern neuroscience shows that consciousness, which is the awareness of ourselves and our experiences, arises from complex interactions within the brain. Electrical impulses, neurotransmitters, and millions of neural networks contribute to thoughts, emotions, and awareness. However, scientists like David Chalmers argue that physical processes alone don't explain why or how we experience being conscious. This question, often called the hard problem of consciousness, suggests that there might be more consciousness than just brain matter. Could this unexplained element align with the Islamic understanding of the ruh, or the soul, which Islam teaches is a non-physical aspect of our being? One area that has drawn scientific attention is the study of near-death experiences. During a near-death experience, individuals who are declared clinically dead often report experiences of floating outside their bodies, meeting deceased relatives, or seeing a bright light. After resuscitation, many can describe details that occurred around them while they were supposedly dead. These experiences have led some scientists to consider the possibility that consciousness may exist independently of physical brain. Although this doesn't prove the existence of the soul, it does hint that our awareness may not be entirely tied to our physical bodies, as Islam suggests. On another note, quantum physics, a field dealing with the smallest particles, has raised questions about reality and consciousness as well. Some physicists, like Dr. Roger Penrose, theorize that consciousness could be related to quantum processes within our brain. Quantum particles exhibit behaviors that's unpredictable, and it isn't entirely bound by physical laws as we understand them. And this has led some scientists to suggest that consciousness might tap into these quantum properties. This idea resonates with the Islamic concept of soul as something beyond our material understanding. While not definitive, these theories encourage us to consider that our existence and consciousness might transcend purely physical explanations. In Islam, the soul is given to us to know and worship Allah, a purpose that goes beyond materialistic or biological functions. This aligns with studies showing that humans are wired for belief, as neuroscientists have found that areas of the brain respond uniquely to spiritual practices such as prayer and meditation, and these foster feelings of peace and purpose. These practices also have measurable positive effects on mental and physical health, as research has shown, suggesting that nurturing the soul through prayer, charity, and seeking knowledge has real benefits aligning with the Islamic view of the soul's purpose. Also, while science explains how these practices affect the brain, it doesn't address the deeper reason behind why spiritual activities make us feel so fulfilled. Islam teaches that such fulfillment comes from nurturing the soul's connection with its creator, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Islam teaches that after death, the soul enters a new realm, beginning with the barzakh, a state between life and afterlife, which is until the day of judgment. While science cannot confirm what happens after death, studies in consciousness and near-death experiences continue to explore the question of whether awareness survives beyond the physical body. Islamic texts like the Hadith from the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, describe the soul's journey in the afterlife in ways that bring comfort and perspective to the believer. It encourages us to live righteously and in preparation for what lies beyond. So do we really have a soul? While science explores the mind, consciousness, and reality, it acknowledges that some things remain beyond full explanation. The Quran reminds us that the soul is a divine mystery and it does exist, one we may never grasp fully, but can experience and nurture. Having a soul means our life is not just about physical survival or fleeting pleasures, but is tied to a higher purpose. When we seek to fulfill that purpose by worshipping Allah, performing good deeds, and growing in kindness and knowledge, we align our souls with the ultimate truth of existence. So let's nurture our souls and seek peace through the remembrance of Allah, knowing that this journey is not just about the here and now, but about an eternal connection to our Creator. And remember, you are a spirit, a soul with a body. You are not a body with a soul. This changes the whole perspective to how you approach your life, how you approach your body. Because at the core of your body, at the core of your being is your soul. And your soul is there to connect with Allah. And so we need to facilitate and do whatever we can to ensure that connection takes place. Just because we don't see something, it doesn't mean it doesn't exist. Otherwise, things like emotions, which we can't point at and say that is what it looks like, or we can't draw it, but it doesn't mean it doesn't exist because we see its manifestation. So we see the manifestation of love, for example, or the expression of love or the expression of hatred, but we can't put our finger on it and say this is what it looks like. Similarly, the soul or the spirit or the ruh exists and it expresses itself in various ways. Just because we can't put our finger on it, it does not mean that it does not exist.